All right, welcome back to HB Unfiltered Sports Talk. I'm joined by the Stiff Brownie, and I'm the Dirtbag, and we're missing the intern right now. We're hoping and praying that she gets back with us soon. And
Yep, absolutely.
yeah, so she's got a lot going on, but she'll make it back. So hang in there. I want to say that our show today is brought to you by J3 Supply Group for your hose and fitting specialist needs. Also, Big Rob's Pizza, Joey, thank you so much for contributing and bringing us free food so we can eat.
Excellent food.
Because everything's so expensive these days. He's probably going to have to charge us pretty soon. My Place Sports Bar and Grill, obviously where I hang out and do my thing. OC Boardroom, where you'll find Stiffy B some of the time hanging out.
Thanks, Heather.
Heather and her crew and fathers and the Quill.
Yep.
Throw that out there.
Yep.
And Selman Chevrolet, Larry Beavers, where you can get a deal on a car. Just drop the name Dirtbag or Stiffy B. With all that being said, I'm a little rusty. We are back now. We will be ramping up now that college football, NFL, MLB. This is the best time of the year.
Yes, it is.
October's
This is
coming.
when we bet a lot.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Yes.
What do you want to start with? You want to start with the NFL or college?
I'm so excited. I'll go with anything.
Let's talk college first.
Yeah, college football. Love it. So
this weekend's massive.
Oh, it is. We got to go back to the first game. We talked about it on Instagram. By the way, remember to go to YouTube and hit like and subscribe. That's how we're going to elevate this and push it forward.
Yep.
But, we were talking about our 2-minute rant about Florida State and the portal and DJ Gouglier. He's just not good, man. They went over there and lost to Georgia Tech, even though they got King from Texas A&M, and he looked awesome. They didn't even throw. They just ran it down their throat and went over there and won in Dublin.
They're just not good.
Yeah.
You know, it's Florida State, and I always like when Notre Dame and Florida State lose. They are absolutely overrated every single season.
Yep.
It's a lot like USC that way for me.
We're going to edit that out. Don't worry about it.
But I honestly, I love the fact when Notre Dame loses, Florida State loses. It's like such a good thing because
Alabama.
I don't know about Alabama so much. Okay.
I don't like Saban, so that's my.
Well, he's
I want
gone now.
I want Alabama. I don't care.
Well, if anybody wants to put a future on anything, this year Ohio State's team is supposed to be the best that they've probably had in 20 years.
Will Howard will win the Heisman.
Yeah, so put a future on them to win the entire thing. I don't know if they're going to beat Georgia. Georgia's obviously extremely stacked again.
Actually, the national title game is going to come in about 3-4 weeks. Ohio State goes to Oregon. That's the game. Oregon's ranked high.
I know they are.
Yeah.
I know they are, but it's interesting with the realignment of the two leagues in particular.
Right.
One of those teams that make it to the championship might have 4 losses because everybody's playing everybody now.
Hey, remember, I still think Florida State won't make it, but there are 12 slots this year.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not 4, so it's going to expand.
Correct.
But I'm telling you, Oregon, Gabriel is actually the Heisman favorite, and they're going to be a slight favorite over Ohio State only because they're at home. But I think Ohio State goes in there and beats them. I think Oregon is kind of like your Florida State, where they're overrated a little bit every year.
Every year.
And they disappoint every year. And a lot of kids like to go there all because they have 82 different uniforms and combinations.
Yep.
But
opening weekend, what games do you like? Because I have 4 on my gambling board that just keep staring me right in the eyeball.
Well, obviously USC against LSU. I've been waiting for this one.
LSU's -4 right now.
And that means the money's been going on SC. It was 4.5, so money is going on SC. Everybody thinks SC stinks because their defense was horrible last year. And rightfully so. And Caleb, knew. I think he kind of shut it down once they lost a game or two, and knew they weren't going to go on. So I can sit here all day and make excuses. The bottom line is Miller Moss showed me a lot in his very first game against Louisville in the Holiday Bowl. In his first game, he threw 6 touchdowns and 450 yards, and their receivers are awesome, and their line is better. So it all matters about that transfer portal and their defense. But I'm going to go on a wild card. This is where everybody's going to hammer and bet LSU, and I'm not doing this to be honest. I think USC is going to beat them.
Okay. I disagree with you.
Of course you do.
Just because I hate USC.
I know.
Really, that's the only
UCLA.
reason.
Deshaun Foster, head coach,
But
totally deserves it.
Here's what I like in that game: over 64.5 points. I think both those teams are gonna score a ton.
Yes, neither can stop.
So
they didn't do it last year, and they lost players. They're not going to do it this year.
Yeah, so that's the LSU game in particular at 64.5. That seems like a magic number to me. I love that. I'm really intrigued by this Miami game. Miami has not lost to Florida, I think, in the last 7 games.
Okay.
And they're at -2.5, which is basically a pick 'em.
Right.
So I like that a lot. I absolutely love Georgia. I don't like it at, I like it right now at 13.5. They're playing Clemson. Clemson, there's another team that's completely overrated. Sorry, Chris LaRocca. Your team stinks.
They need to bounce. Dabo Swinney and Clemson need to bounce back this year. But I do think that quarterback, he's kind of like DJ Aguglia. He's kind of overrated. He didn't do much. And they lost Shipley, that awesome running back. So the game is, in where the Falcons play. So it's really a home game for Georgia, even though it's a neutral site.
Correct.
Oh, by the way, Chick-fil-A will be open. It's Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sunday, Falcon games, Chick-fil-A's closed. So.
Well, I can tell you this. The Clemson fan base became so used to having Trevor Lawrence back there throwing touchdown after touchdown after touchdown that they don't realize how hard it is to get
a good
quarterback in college. I mean, a lot of these kids are making a crap load of money transferring through NIL. But again, Clemson, Notre Dame, Florida State, overrated. ACC, completely overrated.
Yeah.
They're just not big enough. They're not good enough. So I'm going to take Georgia -13.5.
George, it doesn't seem like this whole season might be a waste. Like it's going to be like Georgia, Ohio State.
I agree. I based on what I've seen and what I've heard, Ohio State is in line to have probably the craziest team, as far as just kicking the crap out of everyone,
including Michigan, who lost everyone.
Yeah.
So I agree. What's your next game? Throw it at me.
My last game is right on point. Ohio State. They're playing Akron. Akron stinks. Right now it's 48.5. You know how I am with numbers. That's a crooked number to me, so I'm going to buy the point down to 47.5. 48 I think is reasonable. The over-under in the game, if I'm not mistaken, is 55 or 56 points. That means they are literally thinking Akron is only going to score 1 touchdown, if anything at all.
Right.
So
you know that they should score a little bit more, just with a mishap, a fumble, a turnover.
In these games, though, this is where the trap comes in. Because the point spread's so big, the first string guys are going to be out. The second string guys are going to be out. You're now getting real deep into your bench. Maybe some team managers getting some playing time in there, like they do in basketball, where the guy's like the towel kid, and then he throws on a uniform at half.
Hey, remember?
I don't know.
Remember, schools like Georgia, they're 3-4 deep with 4-star, 5-star. They just happen to be instead of seniors and juniors, they're freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
So they're still better.
A lot of them are red shirts.
They're still better than the Akrons of the world. So they should still put up points. But yeah, I get you.
Those are the 4 games I'm going to concentrate most on for me.
Yeah. I did want to throw out this one because, with all the realignment, with everyone, Washington, Oregon, UCLA, USC going to the Big Ten. You got Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC. You got the ridiculous Pac-2, Washington State, Oregon State for at least 1 year, which is, I don't know how that happened. They completely dropped the ball. It is going to put new rivalries back together that kind of got lost before. So Texas A&M will meet again. But the one that I'm bringing up right now, then they meet this Saturday, is Penn State at West Virginia. These two used to meet all the time.
All the time.
And
it used to be a big game because West Virginia was really good.
Yes, just like Penn State, or Pittsburgh and West Virginia is a big one, backyard brawl. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Right now they have Penn State -8. You like that?
Penn State. I think what West Virginia covers. Penn State's one of those teams that never wins a big one. Franklin can't win a big one to save his life. So Penn State, they've moved on from the Sandusky years. It's only people like me that bring it up and say that name to, throw it in, just like throwing out the race card, or that's how you keep stuff alive, Tim. these
Oregon,
days.
Oregon. Let's go back to Oregon real quick. Oregon's ranked 3rd in the nation right now.
Yes.
They're playing at home against Idaho.
Yes.
I don't know if Idaho is worth this, but they right now have the line at 43.5.
The Vandals are actually pretty decent.
Are they?
Idaho's not bad.
Because I just watched Montana State kick the crap out of New Mexico. So
2 years ago, they won. I think they're in the WAC or whatever. I'll have to fact check myself. You're catching me off guard, but they literally are a much better team than they've been. But still, Oregon being number 3 at home should handle them. Like basically, it's going to be 5-yard passes like Bo Nix did. But it's just going to be Gabriel throwing a 5-yard pass and the receiver running 80.
The one game that I'm going to watch that I'm not going to bet on, but I'm going to watch it only because I really hate this team, is Notre Dame at Texas A&M. And right now, Texas A&M is they're favored. It's a pick'em. I mean, it's -3, whatever. But
this is a weird game because both these teams can't win like a big game against a favorable foe, so one of them's got to win.
And it seems like every single time Notre Dame goes someplace where it's a game very similar to this, it doesn't have to be a top 10 team, but anywhere like from 15 on, they always have trouble with them.
Yeah.
And the over-under's 46.5. I'm not liking that at all. I think it does cover. I think it does.
Right.
But it's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah, it's going to be a close game, and for people... I'm one of those anal type people that pay attention to everything. And when you watch this game, check out that stadium that's been renovated. This Kyle Field is massive. I think it holds
A&M Stadium.
A&M.
Yeah,
it's like 120,000. Now, normally at an NFL game, you got 60,000. This is why I love college football. There's only 6-7 home games, and they're rabid fans. You have a rabid alumni. They all come back. You got the cheerleaders, the band, everything that goes with it. 120,000 screaming fans.
Yep.
It's going to be insane.
It will.
College Station. I mean, that's got to double their even population, which is basically the college town to begin with.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to do there. I don't know if you've ever flown into Corpus Christi, but they have their own airport.
Oh.
So there's literally nothing else to do but that college.
Oh, I do want to run this by you. Texas A&M, what does the A&M stand for?
Agriculture and manufacturing.
Ooh, that's a good guess, but on manufacturing. Agricultural, correct. And I thought it was military because they're a military school, right?
Uh-huh.
ROTC's big and everything.
Correct.
So I thought for years A&M standing for agricultural and military. It's actually mechanical.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Just a little knowledge, something that maybe somebody learned something today.
All right. Let's move on to baseball.
Yes, baseball. Ohtani, the Dodgers, getting hot. The Phillies are hot. Orioles are in town playing the Dodgers. So this is a great series. This could be a possible World Series matchup.
Could be. Depending on if they can stay healthy and if the Yankees can stay healthy, because it's down the stretch. People that don't understand baseball, this is the dog days of summer, as they call it, because it is hot. Which brings me to a couple little nuggets that I'll give you guys on the gambling side of things. But yeah, I mean, you got to stay healthy, and this is when people start breaking down.
Right, and a side note, the Dodgers are always thoughtful. They always think about the fans and what's happening, and the Baltimore Orioles are playing the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium for the first time since I can remember.
Yeah.
Why aren't you inviting Eddie Murray to throw out the first ball?
Pitch.
He played for the Orioles and Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a perfect thing.
I got the opportunity to meet him a couple times. He is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. His hand's like a brick cinder block, though, so when you go to shake it, you don't have a whole lot of hand going on there, but it's a little intimidating, to be honest with you.
Let me have the vice. Hey, Murray, drop the vice.
Yeah. Well, here's what I can tell you. Going into the dog days of summer, like I said, it's hot. Here's your teams that are hot. Like we talked about in the East, you got the New York Yankees, you got the Baltimore Orioles. In the NL West, you got the Dodgers and you got the San Diego Padres. In the Central for the American League, you got the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. And then in the AL East, you got the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. Those are the teams that are hot.
Yeah.
Those are the teams that you want to just pick.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer for you because they're going to win. at least 75% of their games going back because they're making the playoff push. Now, what you need to look for is the teams that they're playing against, okay? We all know the cold teams are the Washington Nationals, the Chicago White Sox, Oakland Athletics. I'm not buying what the Texas Rangers are selling right now either, so I've been picking on them.
Right.
But here's what happens. Anytime you see a pitcher that is opposing one of those teams that I just told you about that's hot, with a number that is over 50, generally speaking, some of the guys 55, but over 50, that is a AAA call-up player. Okay?
Yes.
Most likely making his debut. There's two things you can bet on. You can bet on these horses that are going to win the game, and you can bet on the over. Because it's hot,
yes,
especially if it's a day game. This AAA pitcher's throwing.
Right.
He's going to get his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
So, people, look at the numbers that are going on there and pick Paul Skeens every single time he pitches.
Absolutely.
The guy gets run support, and he doesn't give up any runs.
And he's winning in life.
So, overs, Paul Skeens, and those 8 teams that I just told you about. Stay away from the NL or from the AL West, and stay away from the NL Central. They're all just beating each other up.
Dude, how about the surprise team? Who knew the Royals would be this good? Bobby Witt Jr. is a superstar.
Superstar.
Trout is going to be an afterthought now. He is no longer the face of baseball. Ohtani in the NL. And I'm going with Bobby Witt Jr. in the AL as the face of baseball going forward.
Absolutely. Hey, tune in to us next week. Like and subscribe. Tune into us next week because we will be talking about the NFL in much, much greater depth than we did today.
And that's all, folks.
Pieces. Let's make some money.
Let's do it. We're back.